Hey, good Friday evening to you. How the heck is everybody today? I'm doing just fine. It's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you. Hope everybody's having a wonderful one. We are going to be playing some Gamma World tonight. So I better send a studio invite to my Gamma World players. So if you're out there and you're playing Gamma World and you're wondering where the hell that is, just calm down. Just relax. I send it to you. I send it to you. So just want to update you folks since we're getting so close, so very, very, very close. We are currently sitting at 978 subs on YouTube. Hail Michael Connor. Hail Lobster Unbreaded. Good evening to you. Yes, Mark. Good to see you. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good, and I hope you're doing good too. Like I said, we're going to play some Gamma World at the bottom of the hour. And jump in and find out what's happening with those folks. That's Yesmar, Mobius, Yang Yan Zhao, Manny. Hopefully Manny will be here. James. All kinds of good folks. So we'll have a lot of fun playing that. Oh, I gotta set up the banner. In case you're new here, you don't know what we're all about. I'm all about talking about old school role-playing games and all sorts of associated fun. Now, one thing I forgot to do tonight is I don't have to hand the mail call item I was going to show off. It's off in another part of the house, and I don't want to leave you guys just staring at a background while I go hunt it down. So Monday, we're going to have 2 items on the mail call. That'll be a lot of fun. We got 2 items. Well, I say mail call. One is a gift, and one is, well, both are gifts. But I'm calling it mail call anyway. Are you guys okay with that? I hope you're okay with that, because that's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. That's my plan. Mobius, good evening. Hello. We'll see you in game soon. Larry Correa reading from the book of Matthew Harris was truly unbreaded. Well, he was a lunatic, but whatever. But anyway, I'm doing fine and dandy. You know what's not doing fine and dandy? And I know we've talked about this in the past. I've spent whole live streams talking about this. It seems that Amazon has done gone and bought Universal. Was it Universal? No. I can't remember. They bought a big movie studio, which basically means that they now own the film rights to The Hobbit. Now, what they're allowed to do with it now that they own it is anybody's guess. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to use this as a backdoor way to continue to shit up the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. I mean, let's be honest. We all know that the Rings of Power is going to stink on ice. You know it. I know it. It's not going to be good. There's nothing we can do about that. MGM. Thank you. Yes, Mar. MGM. So it was MGM. So, yeah. We'll have to see, though. We'll have to see. I'm really, really hoping. I don't know. I don't have a lot of hopes for it, period, to be honest with you. But anyway, we'll move on. We'll talk about different things, talk about better things. I'm inching ever closer to getting my resin printer set up, which I've had that gosh darn thing since I got it in January. I have produced to date technically 4 resin miniatures. 2 of them were flat discs because I told you guys all about the insanity with the first attempt to print. The second time I made chess pieces that, because of the printer settings, didn't want to come off the build plate. That was a lot of fun. So I had to use channel locks to pry them off, and broke one in the process. So far, for stinking up my house twice and taking 4 hours, 5 hours, spilling resin, creating an environmental hazard, I've produced a chess piece. But today I worked some more on the fume hood, which is it's just a box. It's just a box I'm making out of foam board. But I'm attaching a couple of PC fans to it and using a USB power extension to PC fan converter. And I'm going to use that and a length of flexible ducting. So we'll duct the smell of it outside the house. So I worked on that some today. So that's a thing that happened. What else is going on? Oh, yeah. So if you missed the announcement last night, or announcements, I should say, multiple announcements. Tomorrow is not the anniversary show. The anniversary show is 2 weeks from tomorrow. I had to move it. Scheduling stuff came up. So I'll be doing that 2 weeks from tomorrow. The next major thing after that for me is in June, and I'm not sure the date. I want to say it's June. I'll have to let's check the old calendar there. Let's check the calendar. I want to say it's June the 11th or the 18th. I will be running an all-day games event down at Gods and Monsters. I will be playing some D&D. That's Gods and Monsters. They're located right here in the Orlando area. So if you want to come down and you want to play some classic D&D with me, or just say hi, that's where I'll be. The next big thing after that is, and I gotta again check the date here. August 20th, I will be giving a talk at a convention. That's right. QuestCon Orlando. They're doing a 1-day gaming convention. And at that con, they said, hey, you want to come down and do a panel? And I said, sure. By panel, do you mean just me or a bunch of people? And they said, well, just you. It's your choice, but it can be just you. Tracy Lesh will be there. My buddy. He's been on the show many times. But more importantly than just being my buddy, he is, of course, one of the artists who worked on original Dungeons and Dragons. Tracy will be there as well on the 20th. So that's QuestCon Orlando. Again, if you're going to be in Orlando around the 20th of August and you want to stop by, I'll be there. And then Tracy's invited me to sit over in his booth for the rest of the day. So I don't know what time the panel will be. but I'll let you guys know. Jumping back just a minute, just a hot minute to the anniversary show. I talked to Ty Beard. He's going to pop on, and I'll be reaching out to other people. See, that's kind of part of the delay, not Ty. Ty is not part of the delay. I am the sole and only cause of the delay, just so we're 100% crystal on that. Completely transparent. Gotta reach out to people, and you ping people. I mean, Ty is a very busy man. He's an attorney in Texas. You can't really say, hey, you want to come and talk on my dorky podcast thing and expect to get a ping back just like that. I mean, he's got lives in the balance, right? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Hello, Mick Leach. I see you over there, over on Facebook. Oh, that's something else I wanted to mention. Last night, if you're a Facebook regular fan, and last night you saw the time when the live stream was supposed to start and when it was supposed to end, and the whole time went by and you didn't see a live stream, I apologize. As I said yesterday, I completely flaked on the time. I thought I'd set the time to 8:30 when we started tonight, but it was 7:30. Facebook automatically cancels your live stream events after 10 minutes. They're kind of assholes about live streaming over on Facebook. They're kind of assholes about a lot of stuff on Facebook. So what happened was, when I finally realized, oh shit, and started the live stream on YouTube, which we actually had a lot of fun last night. For the 2 hours or so I was on, it was really one of the better live streams I've done. Even though I was able to kick it off, I wasn't able to start the stream on Facebook. Stopping it, rescheduling it, restarting it on StreamYard, I didn't know if I would lose the YouTube connection and then everybody would get booted off and wander away. So I apologize. You can watch the stream on my YouTube channel. You can go over to my YouTube channel and watch the stream and leave comments. I've set it so that all the comments replay. So I'm sorry. I really am. Wholly and entirely the fault of yours truly. But tonight, once again, I am in both places. Now, still don't know why Facebook's not streaming in 1080p. It should be, but it's not. And good luck talking to anyone ever at Facebook about anything. So far, I've Googled to no real effect other than to find out if I had a paid YouTube or a paid Facebook account, like a business, and poured money into it, it would be a cinch. It would be like a default thing. But apparently it is doable under other circumstances. I'm still looking into how to do that. So that is what is happening. And we just, we just keep on keeping on. We just keep on keeping on. But, that's a problem I'm going to have to solve, because I really want, like, when you guys were looking on the D&D cam the other night, right? It kind of looked like ass. And I know a lot of people listen to the podcast. Like, Like my daughter's friend Tanner, apparently he just puts the show on and listens while he arranges books on a bookshelf all the way up there in the distant deep wilds of Canada, which is kind of cool in its way. Um, but sorry, I had to respond to a message. I like to be responsive. Um, but yeah, I mean, he listens. So that this is in 1080p or 720p or 4K, even if I could pump out that, which I can't. I have the camera rig for it. The camera can do 4K out, but my computer and my bandwidth can't. And neither can any streaming service. Let's be completely honest about that. There's nobody that's going to stream me in 4K. Not that doesn't have a 3-letter acronym for their service, quote unquote, name. But regardless of that, if you're just listening rather than watching, it's not a big deal. But it matters to me because this camera over here, which you guys can't see, but it's the one that I have used for stuff when I've shown it on camera. And this camera right here you're looking through, at the very least, they can do 1080p. Even my phone, I could do 1080p streaming through. But if Facebook defaults to only 720p, StreamYard won't do 1080p to YouTube and 720p to somebody else. It will default to the lowest stream that it goes. And I hate that. And it sucks. And you know what? I'm a paid customer at StreamYard. They should do that. They should do something about that. They should change that. It would serve them better because I'm sucking up less bandwidth. I'm going 1080p over here and 720p over here. I'm doing the max that one will do and the max that I can do with another one. Come on, guys at StreamYard. It can't be that hard, can it? It can't be that hard. So we'll just kind of have to hope I can figure it out. And it's no strain on my gear here. All right. This is taking in an image at 4K. And it's basically being demuxed down to 1080p on out to StreamYard. But that's it. That's it. I'm not having to pump out anything other than just the one video signal. So, that is what that is. And we'll just have to hope for the best. So, anybody out there going to GaryCon? Any of my audience actually going to GaryCon? I've been getting a lot of Facebook memories, and I shouldn't spend time on Facebook. It's dumb. And I like seeing the friends that I see there. It's really, that's the only reason I stay. Nobody says that's scary enough when I'm watching on the TV. But yeah, so back in 2018, I went to GaryCon, and now Facebook be like, "Hey, you took all these pictures back in 2018 and shared them on Facebook. Isn't this fun? Isn't this awesome?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." Because I had a lot of fun. Now, if somebody wanted to go to GaryCon and was able to let me tag along, I could do that, but I'm not really in a position where I can go myself. I tell you, The con that I would really like to go to, like I would scrimp and save and scrape and scratch to go to, will be North Texas, because I know a lot of cool people go and they do the scene at North Texas RPG. That is apparently a lot of fun, and it's a great place to be seen. I know Ty is gone. I know Nick Ricada has gone. So I would thoroughly enjoy going to North Texas. Maybe someday I can make it up there. But I'm kind of thinking Gary Con. I went once. That was kind of it for me. I did find this funny. They're having some weird weather in southern Wisconsin. I'm a Florida boy, right? After mid-late January, with the exception of a couple of snaps, it's like spring here. A lot of people would consider the weather we're having right now in mid-March in Florida to be summer. This would be like midsummer for them, mid-early summer. When I went to GaryCon in 2018, just put simply, there were some nights that were in the teens. Just freezing cold nights. There was snow on the ground that had been on the ground since Christmas. It was, to my mind, very, 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 very cold. And this year, yeah, there's like days in the 70s happening up there right now. Next week when the con is, it's going to get a little cooler, but like they'll have highs in the upper 40s, which I guess if you're in southern Wisconsin in March, that's like sweltering. But anyway, Mobius says Comic-Con is in Toronto this weekend. I can't go. I'm sorry about that. Dragon Con in Atlanta. Dragon Con is one of those cons that I have always contemplated going to, but I don't know that I'll ever get to it. I was talking to Grow Dog, because like I was saying last night, Grow Dog was in town on Wednesday. Well, I mean, he's still here. He's still here, but he's like out at Disney doing stuff with the family, or out at Universal, I think, doing stuff with the family. I think he flies out day after tomorrow. But we're hanging out and we're chit-chatting about things, and he starts telling me a story about hanging out with Michael Moorcock. Just kicking back with Michael Moorcock. Michael, Elric, Corum, Jerry Cornelius, played music with Hawkwind, that Michael Moorcock, just chilling out with him. It was a fun story. It was a story that Michael Moorcock told about going to Worldcon with Fritz Leiber and a couple of other science fiction fantasy luminaries, and Fritz Leiber being so inebriated that he couldn't drive, and the two guys in the back of the car, the other two science fiction authors, being so inebriated they couldn't drive, so they asked him to drive, and that didn't work for very long because of course he's from the UK, so he was just completely freaking out. And so they finally stop, and Fritz Leiber is like, I'll drive, fine, whatever. And he gets in and he's completely drunk off his ass, and in reflection, Moorcock said, yeah, if we'd had a car accident, that would have been the end of science fiction and fantasy in that era. That would have been it. But yeah, Dragon Con, maybe I'll do that one day. Maybe I'll do that. I like going to events, but I never know what to do with myself if I'm not running something. Luther says, me and a buddy I game with want to go to Dragon Con. We can swing up to your neck of the woods and pick you up and swing over to Atlanta on 20. Um, we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to see what's going on at that particular time. I've got some semi-important stuff coming up. Now, I said, I'd be doing events for August, one in June. However, I actually have a couple, and I'm thrilled about this. I have a couple of gigs for Guide Key. Now, if you're not familiar with what Guide Key is a service. It's a company of mine, and you can check it out. You can go to here. I'll put the URL. You can go to guide-key.com, and Guide Key is my corporate DMing gig. Basically, I do team building exercise as D&D adventures. Now, it can just be a fun blow-off steam thing. I don't get into a bunch of human resources jargon. I don't. I promise. Okay? But if you've got a company and they want to do a D&D event, I can provide. And I had a couple of businesses approach me. So this spring and this summer, I'm not going to mention any names when it's passed. If they want to put an endorsement, for lack of a better term, leave a review on the website like Amazon did, they can absolutely do that. But I won't put words in their mouth beforehand. So that makes me pretty happy. So I got to see what the window is going to be like with those guys. Let's see. Doomsword says, I went to Dragon Con 3 times. Last time was 06, and it was fairly disappointing in comparison to the old days. And it's a fear of mine that the current gaming environment is going to ruin any con, and they will get worse and worse. And isn't that always the way? Things just kind of get away from their core of what they're supposed to be about. I mean, I don't get, like, here's a case in point. Years ago at the LGGC Lake Geneva Gaming Convention. Now, this was a con put on by Trollord Games in Lake Geneva, where Gary was pretty much the permanent guest of honor, and other TSR luminaries would often come up and spend time over a 4-day. And it was loads of fun. But it was very small. I think the last one had a big crowd because it was the last one. Like, Gary passed away that March, and then the con itself was in June. And of course, there were no more after that. But I remember talking to one of the Steves, and he said, yeah, we've got about, and I think he said 200 people. It may have been a smaller number. And he said, that's about as big as I want it to be. And I get that. I completely get that. If they had kept doing it over and over and over and over and just building and it was thousands of people at every con, and they had to move it out of the cove, and then they had to move it out of Lake Geneva entirely, and nobody knew and nobody cared about what Lake Geneva actually was and why it was important and who Gary was. That would just be depressing. And I remember I saw a picture from one of the cons I didn't go to. So it would have been 1, 2, or 3. But one of the conventions, a couple of people were sitting at a table and they had a handmade sign on a stick on the table. It said something like 3E game looking for players. And at the time, 3rd edition D&D was only a few years old. It was still tall in the saddle. And I remember seeing it and I just laughed. But then I was like, why would you even do that? Why would you do that? Why would you go to LGGC and run a 3E game? I mean, that's just terrible. Now, fortunately, they needed players and they didn't get them. And I hate to say that. I hate to sound nasty like that. They needed players and they didn't get them. So they felt like they had to put a sign up. But going to basically the Gary Gygax Invitational when the man was still alive and hanging out and hanging up a sign that says, "Hey, we're looking for people to play 3rd edition." I mean, come on. Really? People aren't there for that. And I hate looking at things that are so-called supposedly old school. I don't mean OSR, capital O, capital S, capital R. The current pack of people who honestly, in a lot of ways, are so divorced from real old school gaming, AD&D, original Dungeons and Dragons, that they might as well be playing 5th edition or even 3rd edition or 4th edition. God help us. You know, just don't do it. If your expectations are that you're going to go to a tiny little convention or a tiny little event that's being billed as old school, don't, I mean, don't go to a fancy restaurant dressed like I am in cargo shorts and a Star Wars t-shirt and be surprised when you get funny stares. It's just, come on, man. So I get it, seeing stuff, the current gaming environment just kind of paving over a good little thing. Now, I don't mind, like, if at at QuestCon's not billing itself as strictly old school, strictly classic. I would imagine 99% of the gaming at QuestCon is gonna be people playing 5th edition. Maybe is you guys tell me, is Vampire still a going concern? I I remember the green books for Vampire, and then I guess there was a 2nd edition, but there was a company, Onyx something or the other, Onyx Path maybe, was that it? Um, but I don't know for sure. Um, but I just have no I have no illusions about going there and it's only going to be an old school thing. And then it'll be people playing all newer stuff. Last edition of Vampire came out around 2018. That's a few years back for a role playing game. But then, I mean, fifth edition, I still think of fifth edition as a very new edition. It came out almost 10 years ago. Was it 2015, 2016 when it released? So it's been a long time. Luther says, I play an OSR style game with a group of fellow teachers and now find it hard to imagine playing 5e again. The thought of 5e, 4e, or 3e sounds alien. Yeah, yeah, you know. And one of my upcoming clients was talking about his son, despite the fact that again, Guide Key is largely um, aims at business team building. I don't mind doing it as events for just groups of people. Like, you hire a musician, right? Now, the musician could play at your corporate event, or the musician could come and play at your house party, right? So this is more of a house party thing for one of them. But he was telling me, and this is a person I know, so I can conversate with him. It's a very mellow thing. But he was saying that his son has all the books and he's very excited about playing. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of adjust things a little bit. Now, I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say, no, man, you know me. I only play classic D&D. Because that doesn't mean a thing in the world to him, right? Just you don't play the latest D&D, so I gotta adjust. Now I'll play classic D&D, and I've seen enough of fifth edition to know that I can use the 5e stuff with 1e with some adjustments and make it work. But of course, then we can get into discussions about why classic over non, and I just don't think we have that much time tonight. An OSR style game with a group. Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, the idea of just week to week non OSR gaming, I don't even know what to do with that. I'm not being ugly about it, and I'm not trying to be harsh, but I don't. My problem with 5e Crunch was that they got rid of the maps. Theater of the Mind doesn't work that well in a combat scenario. Now that's an interesting take because so many people I have talked to get in my grill in varying degrees. Sometimes it's in a friendly chit chat kind of way. Sometimes it's in a like they're mad at me for using Dwarven Forge and miniatures. Um, but so so it's interesting that you say that, Damien. I mean, I think the pushback against miniatures from my old school fans were the battle grids of third edition was from the dovetailing of D&D minis into 3E. 3E was very if you didn't check out the 3D rules, they were very battle grid happy. Like to the point where they're saying this spell affects this many squares. And it is verisimilitude breaking when you say this many squares forward, this many squares radius. It's like fireball can go up to 300 feet and it affects a 2-inch diameter or 20-foot diameter sphere, which is 33,000 cubic feet, by the way. Um, Exactly. I like to know where the enemy is and where the position is. But I don't feel the necessary to I don't feel it necessary to adhere to the grid, which is why, like, when I put the camera on the Dwarven Forge, I tell my players and the viewers, if I'm live streaming that game, guys, it's there to look neat and it's there to kind of bring you into the game a little bit. It's rare, and it would just be for missile fire and so on that we would worry about squares. Because I don't want people going, okay, well, I can move 90 feet and around. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a board game. It's not a board game. Mobius says that group playing 3E was Scotty Gary Bay and his buddies. Are you talking about at GaryCon or Lake Geneva Gaming Con, Mobius? Do you know about that? Because if so, that's actually kind of cool. Did you look that up or did you just know that? That's fascinating. And like if somebody coerces me into playing OD&D or AD&D, like running OD&D or AD&D, oh, you're kidding. Okay, all right, I got you now. At QuestCon, I don't just drive around town with boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of Dwarven Forge and miniatures and my AD&D books, right? I I can't. Then it would be just pure theater of the mind. If QuestCon had said, "Hey, will you come and run OD&D or AD&D?" I would plan appropriately. You know, I would figure out what I needed and I would take that stuff with me. As far as 5e promoting laziness, I think it does too. And I railed about this and I hated this. I honestly can't remember if it got left in, but and this like made me angry because if I recall right, it was baked into the rules. It wasn't given as an option. It's not like you could do this. I mean, it is something you as the game master have to rip out and then make compensations for because it's gone. And that is damage on a miss. Like, even if you miss, you still do damage. You roll your dice, you roll your d20. Oh, I rolled a 2. Well, I still do X amount of damage. That's terrible. That's bad game design. You are a bad game designer and you should feel bad. If you have a 2-hit mechanic in your game and then you have some kind of mulligan system where a miss still does damage, no. You should feel bad for having that mechanic in your game. I think Jack, that is definitely an approach to take. Resolve specific issues with them, and otherwise don't worry about them. I know some people who are some people at their tables. They have very highly detailed, beautifully painted miniatures, but just for characters, and it's just for marching order or figuring out where they might be standing in a given situation. No flocks of monsters, no terrain, no battle mat, just where are you in the party order, and just everybody can ooh and ah over the character minis. Yes, Damien, exactly. Damage on a miss is an awful mechanic. It is bad game design. I mean, I understand. I play tested 5e. All right. I had a hand in its inception. And when I saw that mechanic get introduced in one of our playtest sessions, I was appalled. And then when I started reading more about it, I was equally appalled. Because what I had been hoping for was that all the gimme mechanics that had piled up in 4th edition were going away. And it seemed to me like 5e was very much stripping back a lot of the excesses of 4e. And when I saw that damage on a miss mechanic, I was like, God, this is the same damn mistakes. It's that everybody gets a trophy. I don't want to have to work for anything. And I saw a discussion come up. I don't remember where it was. It was probably that goddamn horrible RPG net, but it may have been someplace else. By the way, quick pointer. I am slamming RPG net. I am throwing mud on RPG net. Okay, it is a bad forum. Don't use it. If you signed up for it a long time ago, delete your account on it. It is bad. It is objectively a bad forum. And I will say nothing but bad things about RPG net. But anyway, somebody posited. So I unfortunately know things about 4th edition. I never played it. I looked at the rule books a lot, but I never played 4th edition. But again, I do know things about it. Yes, Joshua, exactly that. Someone brought up the statement. So in 4th edition, because the game is all gimme and it's about set pieces and it's not about adventuring. 4th edition is not an adventuring role-playing game. There's no, carefully going down corridors, checking for traps, random encounters, little bits of scenery here and there. It's big encounter, big encounter, big encounter, biggest encounter. Power up, power up, power up, power up. Everybody levels. Big encounter, big encounter, big encounter, biggest encounter. Power up, power up, power up, power up. Everybody levels. And on and on and on and on and like that. And 4E is trash Dungeons and Dragons. But this person was talking about minions, and a minion is a creature that, like a fire giant minion, can do all the things that a fire giant can, but they only have 1 hit point. So your party can literally run through 100 of them and slay them all until they get to the fight with the controller. You make a valid point, Doom. Sort of. It wasn't D&D. It wasn't D&D, but damage on a miss. Only if it hurts you or one of your people, like a fumble in Cyberpunk. You miss and can put a bullet in one of your buddies. Bam, done. Yeah, exactly. And it's not splash damage either, like when you throw holy water, flaming oil, or acid, or even poison at a target. But anyway, to get back to the argument someone was making, and it summed up all of 4th edition for me. The person making the post was talking about a fight against fire giants. I remember it specifically. It was about fire giants. And they said, we were playing ridiculous 4E adventure the other night. And we asked the DM if the monsters we were facing were minions, and he wouldn't tell us. Like, let me tell you guys something. I know there's some people out there in the stream audience who play AD&D on the Monday night game. I know there's some people who play in tonight's Gamma World game watching. If you ever ask me how many hit dice and hit points a monster has, I'm not going to tell you. You'll know how many hit points they have when they drop. Well, they have 0. They have 0 hit points. But this guy was complaining that the DM was being a dick because he wouldn't say, hey, these are all minions you're about to face, because they didn't want to use up their special powers. They didn't want to use their special powers. What? Why is that even playing D&D at that point? How is that even playing D&D at that point? Who is that even playing D&D with at that point? Where in role-playing games is that an RPG at that point? Why would you ever do that? I mean, really, if that's what you wanted out of D&D, and I hate to sound like I'm attacking players, it's the system. It's what Wizards of the Coast created. Sorry, I'm getting a question and I'm just answering it. Why not just the dungeon master just say, you guys walk into a room, all the monsters are slain by you. You slay the big bad and you win. Die-hard 4E fans, it seems like that's all they wanted. Now let me say that now that I've slagged it, there were some things in 4th edition that codified. Hello, Michael Connor. There were some things in 4E that codified. So in 4E, they had what was called AEDU, at will encounter, daily or unlimited. Like at will, you could just do a thing. Per encounter, once per encounter, you could you know, like once or twice per encounter, you could do a thing. Daily, it will be once daily. And then unlimited was you could do it anytime. And that actually matches up with some concepts in AD&D. Bear with me. Don't throw Rotten Tomatoes. Jack says that would speed things up, but just give them experience. Yeah. Let me frame this properly. So AEDU. Let's think of this in AD&D terms. If you consider the paladin's protection from evil, or no, paladins detect evil is at will. Protection from evil is per encounter. Or turn undead. We'll say turn undead is by encounter. Because it can fail. And the monsters can come rushing back at it. And then they can't try to turn those undead again. Daily is lay on hands. And then unlimited would be protection from evil. There's your AEDU. So it was a way to describe, but everybody got stuff like that. Everybody got stuff like that. You had, a warlord could yell at you and heal you. Just like if you got knocked down in a fight, there was a warlord in the party, he could just yell at you to get off your ass and get back in the fight, and it would give you hit points. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking about 4E now. Because I don't want it to be assumed that I'm saying bad things about the people who played the game and enjoyed it. But that right there, when I saw that, like, that's... And people were like, oh, yeah, no, he should have told you. The DM really should have told you. What a disconnect from reality. The DM should have told you. Hey, I got some news for you. I got some souped up abyssal kobolds in my game that have tons of hit dice, and the magic user throws a lightning bolt. They just kind of laugh off the damage, or I make a magic resistant check for all of them and they all make it. I'm not going to say, well, see, these are abyssal kobolds with more hit dice than you thought. 7 + 7 each, exactly, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty far out there. And to bring that, like, to say, well, 4E is old school because, we got fired as customer. Hey, no. You come to an event that says it's old school, be prepared to put on your big boy pants and play some AD&D or some OD&D, because elf games are serious business. And PC anti-paladin was so knowing the other player shrunk a boulder and slung it at him. One of the semi-regular audience members, Boganora, wants a flintlock whose ammo is giant boulders, and slipped over the end of the barrel is a ring of anti-magic. So you fire the flintlock, the boulder goes flying out the end, and when it passes through the ring, it becomes a giant boulder again. Magic what? Yeah, but everybody got shit tons of magical powers, so it didn't matter. People said, "Oh, well, it fixes the Christmas tree effect of first, second, and third edition." Everybody's not just festooned in ornaments. That's like saying, "Yeah, I want to make a more sedate Christmas tree this year, so instead of putting 10,000 ornaments on my 6-foot Christmas tree, I'm going to put 100,000 lights, but just a few ornaments." That was their fix. Hello, Dungeon Minister. Good to see you. So we're fixing to start Gamma World. So add a little bit of the group in tonight. Now, a couple of my players can't make it. Manny's, both of them are tied down with work, and that's the reality, right? That's a thing that happens, unfortunately. So I'm gonna get my headphones on, and I'm gonna stop bitching about it. A dead version of D&D that everybody hated, and we're gonna play some Gamma World, a live version of Gamma World that everybody, all right-thinking people, should like. To be quite brutally honest. So let me open up my Gamma World rules. Gamma World, Gamma World, Gamma World is really neat. It is full of mutant meat. We all love you, Gamma World. All right, so welcome our players. And we say good evening to them all.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Yang, Brun, James, good to see you all. How are you?
Wonderful.
I get a torque grenade ready.
Doesn't even know what the encounter is going to be.
Doesn't matter. I have a torque grenade ready.
Just
Hello.
Hello. Just sitting there, pin pulled, holding it in your hand.
They're coming. I know it.
Luther, complaining about my singing, the gratitude that I get from my audience, I swear. I serenade you guys. My singing is a sonic weapon? What? Then I'm going to sing every encounter tonight. You guys are in Clearwater.
Torque
Looking
grenade.
for survivors. Looking for survivors. No encounter. What are you doing? No, I'm not going to do it.
Hey, Gerg, you got cool new weapons.
Awesome.
Yes. So I will let you guys regale Gerg with what you have handed over. To recap for our group, you arrived at Goodwater. I said Clearwater. I live in Florida. There's a Clearwater here. It's where all the Scientologists are at. But you're in the town of Goodwater, and when you arrived, it was still and eerily silent, devoid of the hustle and bustle, this agricultural hub for this entire region as it used to be. You did, however, immediately encounter pure strain humans in strange clothing who immediately attacked you when you saw them. However, one torque grenade later, you managed to clear that up. In searching, you did locate a weapon. You also found you met a new fellow. Another human who had been away. He had lived in a small settlement out in the fields far away from the town. They hadn't heard from the town. His fellows who lived there with him went to investigate what happened, and when he arrived, he did not hear back from them, so he himself went to investigate and found he immediately had to hide out from these pure strain humans. Let's see what else. Oh yes, stuffed under the corner of a house, you found one of the strange outfits of the pure strain humans with a note inside that said, "They're angels. I don't want to kill them. I'm going to take my mask off. God forgive me." And you also found a weapon in there. So currently, there are no pure strain humans. You have the clothes that he was wearing. It's a mask with a long rubbery pipe or some kind of other device that goes into a belt pouch that is apparently worn with this outfit. So there you are in Goodwater. No one's around. What do you do? What do you do?
Okay, first of all, someone said I had a new weapon. What is this weapon?
Smith and Wesson.
Smith and Wesson. Okay. What kind of damage does that thing do?
5 dice.
Okay.
What would you get?
I got a laser rifle.
Aha. I missed last week, so am I still with these guys? Or was I playing last
Yeah.
week? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're still here.
Bill, at one point when we were down in that underground area, you gave me a laser rifle also, and you were impressed with the damage that it was doing, but I never did get a chance to ask you about the damage.
Okay. So yes, you have a laser rifle, which for your small self is more like I said, it's like in Aliens when they had the big harness mounted smart gun to wield around. That's, you're toting it around. The laser rifle, which you figure, I think you figured that out in like 4 dice rolls. It was nuts how quickly you sorted out how to use that weapon of the ancients. Let's see. It's kind of funny. It's called a laser rifle, but rifle implies a series of grooves cut into the barrel, and nothing comes out of a laser rifle but light. It doesn't need them. All right, so here we go. Laser rifle. It is a 6-die attack, and you get 5 shots per power pack. And I think I said you had 5 power packs with it, if I recall correctly.
Okay, cool.
So you've got a little pouch with power packs, the laser rifle, and now you've got the Smith and Wesson, which is a laser pistol.
Okay.
One of us should pick up that mask and check the rest of the bits, I guess.
Okay. It's made to fit, and it looks like there are zips and ties and straps and buckles and so on that it can fit a pure strain human of pretty much any build. It couldn't fit poor Oscar. Oscar's dead, by the way. Oscar died in a grenade blast from the from the humans who attacked you.
Oh no, friend.
Yeah. Manny rolled up another character though. He is detained by work. Hopefully he will be able to join us. So It could not have fit Oscar even with all of the zippers out and everything, but it will fit.
I'm a pure straight human. I guess I'll try it on.
Okay. It's kind of loose and floppy, but it is hot. Like immediately when you put it on, you start getting warm.
Radiation hot.
Oh no, just heat
Oh.
hot. Like it's not breathing. It's not breathing.
I thought about it as soon as I put it
radiation
on.
suit. It keeps radiation in.
Please don't be radiated. So, do I see anything through the lenses? Is there anything like over top of them, superimposed? Is it just like an oxygen thing?
Well, I think we can we can make some device rolls.
I need to get my dice. All right.
Get your dice, sucker.
I am. Gotta get the Crown Royal bag open.
Yes.
Fumble tables apply. All right.
The decoding ancient devices is the fumble table. And it is hilarious.
So for my first roll, a 1.
A 1. Okay, yeah. You're able to fit them to your eyes. They're resting comfortably. Kind of reaching up and touching. You can feel there's a little maybe like a little studded or a little ridged stud rather that feels like it will move. And you can move it around, and one of the first things you see is down in the imposed in your vision in the lower right hand corner, it says Bat Life, and there's a little green bar underneath it that is about the size of a grain of rice.
Nice, it's green. Okay.
All right.
Roll.
Okay.
2.
Okay, you click it in, and everything that you're seeing gets twice as big.
Nice.
You've got apparently a 2-power zoom on it.
All right. Is there any more fiddling to do, or?
Yes.
A 3.
Okay. You kind of move that ridged stud back and forth, and the light dims until like the bright light of the sun is now like comfortably shaded. It's like you're holding your hand over your eyes permanently.
This is pretty neat, guys. Give her another roll.
All right.
5.
Yeah, you move it around and nothing changes.
All right, try again.
All right.
4.
You move it around and nothing changes.
Son of a. 2.
Everything turns this weird shade of kind of medium green, except when you look at all your friends, they're glowing bright white.
Oh. Nice. Okay.
And in the right-hand corner of your right eye's field of vision, well, actually it's in both eyes field of vision, down in the right, you see IR, the letter I and the letter R.
IR. Okay. Keep going, I guess.
That is all the functions.
Oh, sweet. All right. I didn't want to wreck it. Awesome. So that's like a helmet goggle mask, I guess, or just a...
Well, the hood itself to this, or the mask is just kind of it's made of the same floppy material that the rest of the suit is.
Okay.
This appears to be functions that are built into the goggles. So you have magnification, some kind of heat vision, and then you've got a shading function. And then you've just got plain, you're looking through whatever transparent substance they are.
Well, I'll just keep those. Put them on my brow or something.
Well, they're built onto the mask. So,
okay.
Yeah. But the the straps are such that you could kind of have it hanging loosely around your neck.
So is infrared magnification and what?
And just vision shading.
Okay.
You don't know if it's enough that it would turn, say, getting shot in the face with a laser weapon, but you're welcome to experiment and try that out.
Let's see that Smith & Wesson. I need someone. I need to call someone.
Why, it might even stop a torque grenade.
So is there like a town hall or any signs that say, like, we just got into the town, right? So we're at the gate, I guess?
Correct. The pure strain human you met who was hiding out says, the big place for meetings was the large barn, and informal get-togethers were here at the trading post. We had a council of elders, but everyone's gone, and like most of the truly useful items have been completely removed. The shelves in the trading post have been stripped. You did find a box full of Domars, though, that was hidden with the new laser weapon. But yeah, tins of food, containers of water. There's some large gardening implements, rakes, hoes, pitchforks, that sort of thing, that are still there, but finer detailed stuff, it's all gone. Except notably some handmade children's toys that depict mutants. Those are all smashed up and ripped up and cut up.
Anti-mutant people.
Could be.
Just keeping an eye out for more of them pure strain human fellers. Explore the town a little bit more then, I guess.
Yeah, we should look around, make sure we haven't missed anything.
Okay.
Explains why the supplies aren't making it to us, though.
So let's have a quick gander. Looking around the town, you there are a few houses. Most of the buildings here are devoted to farm. There's like a stable. There's a large barn. There's some large, tall, cylindrical buildings that you can see a few piles of grain and corn that have been like trodden into the dirt, like everything that was in them has been removed. There are some dwellings, and you've already been in the trading post.
Is there any graffiti?
Yes, there is. In fact, on a there's as you walk around, is the center of town is a fairly small place. If you've ever seen the old TV show Little House on the Prairie, I mean, it's literally just a few municipal buildings and a couple of houses in the middle of this town. But as you go around the corner,
And a farmhouse and a schoolhouse.
and a schoolhouse, yeah, you come up to the schoolhouse. There are white feathers of the type that the winged being had. A couple of
with the clothes-eating talking guy that we traded with?
No. The figure, the deceased woman that you found on your way in to Goodwater.
Oh, I missed that.
The angel.
There are many of those feathers scattered around. The front of the schoolhouse has holes blasted in it. The windows are shattered. You asked about graffiti painted in red paint across the front of it. It says "Die Mutie."
Better keep your head down, Gerg.
So make of that what you will.
Around, I guess. Should we go into the schoolhouse, or we got to find some survivors or something?
Yeah, it sounds like we should maybe take a look inside. Also, is there maybe go around the building? Are there any
back doors,
steps down into like some sort of cellar area or anything?
Or any small openings a raccoon could get into?
Yeah, there's a few windows, and
said they were all blasted out. So
yeah, there's a few things like that you could try and crawl into.
Okay, Gurgle try to climb up and peer inside the building, then through one of the broken windows.
I'll lift him up over my head.
Okay.
We'll stand watch.
Understood.
Meanwhile, he's broadcasting sadness at the loss of his giant friend.
As I thought you would be.
Brun starts crying uncontrollably.
Oh. What you can see inside the building is there are rows of pews, and I don't know how religious Gerg is or is not, but it looks like there was some kind of ceremony being held in this place when it was interrupted. There are puddles of blood, dried blood, spots of dried blood everywhere, and many more of the white feathers scattered around. Some of the pews are knocked over. There is a wooden cross in the far end of the building that is kind of tilted back and a little bit at an angle. But other than that, you don't see anything.
Okay, he'll try to broadcast back fight, dead, blood, feathers. Just to try to get everybody to understand that something went down in there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Keep looking around for that cellar. Maybe. Basements. Maybe we should go inside.
Sure. And it's a it's an outside storm door kind of affair. The door is slighted at an angle on the back of it. They're closed and there's a chain on it with a fairly simple lock. You think you could probably pop it off with a little bit of effort, or maybe even a little application of Smith & Wesson.
What do you think, Gerg?
Yeah, I guess he'll take his new toy out and try to get as close to the lock as possible without actually touching it, and angle it away from the doors and away from everybody else and squeeze off a shot.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage on that.
There's 4 and 12. Total of 18.
That's sufficient. You blast the lock and it falls into 2 slaggy halves.
Okay.
You know, just kind of glows red for a brief moment and then falls away.
Gerg lets the blaster pistol or the pistol dangle from his side there, and he kind of rubs his little paws together.
Just
I
with this flip this giant pistol around, you know, to spin it on your paw and then slip it into a holster. All right, so you have opened up the basement, whatever it is.
We open up the door. Go down the stairs, I guess.
Okay. This seems to be a combination of storage room and possibly a shelter, maybe against rad storms or tornadoes or something like that. There's some general repair implements here, hammers, pry bars. There's a bundle of wooden torches, a couple of metal lanterns of some kind, or at least you think they are. They're elongate, bulbous, surrounded with a metal cage. Look like they have a little reservoir at the bottom. You've seen such things before, about all the way back in Station 76, which now seems like a lifetime ago. You know, and Gerg, thinking about that, you're like, man, how are we going to tell Oscar's parents?
What happened to him?
Oscar?
I missed it.
Oh, he got blown up with a grenade.
Oh yeah.
Pure strength humans threw a grenade and it went kaboom. So really, I mean that's just about it. There's not much there.
Is there anything in the lanterns? Are they empty?
No, there's oil. Oh, well, there's fuel. Let me say that. There's fuel.
All right. Well, I'll grab one of them lanterns. I don't know. Just in case. I think I have a lighter somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Might be a good idea to tuck a couple of those
Torches. Yeah.
in somebody's backpack.
Yeah, definitely grabbing some torches.
All right. You can absolutely do that.
All right. Should we go check upstairs? Obviously, there was a fight or.
Are there any stairs up other than the way we came in?
No. The cellar appears to be accessed only from the outside.
Okay. So I guess head back to the surface.
All right. As you guys are coming out, those of you that were down, did everybody go down? Let me ask that, or did anyone stay out?
Oh yeah, I got a lantern. I went down.
Okay.
And guard outside.
Yeah, I believe it.
And Rex, Rex, as you hear them talking and so on, there's kind of a rumbling in the ground, and something very large breaches the ground. It's maybe 20 yards away, and you recognize it immediately. It's a giant beetle. It is called a herp, and what you know about them is they spray acid, and they're generally bad news.
Is it small enough to make it down these steps, or is it
It's
too
a
big?
little smaller than your ground car, so
If we stay down here, we should be good. And fire up from the bottom if we have to. Maybe it'll just go away.
How far away is it from us?
about 20 yards.
Is it heading towards our way?
Seems to be.
I think we should shoot it, guys.
Blast it.
Yeah. Opening fire.
Yeah, Gerd's pulling out his pistol again.
Okay.
Actually, he's going to pull the rifle out.
Yeah, rifle.
Do all these guys see it too?
I'll use my slug thrower, I guess.
The non-rifled rifle.
And the rest.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're really low, Rex. I can hear you, but
Oh, okay.
oh, there you. I can still hear you, but you're so low.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get your volume down really low.
So
Your input volume.
is everyone else there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're in the stairwell. You were keeping 6.
All right, so Giant Herp is scuttling around, and you guys are going to go ahead and take your shot. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Got a 6.
Awesome.
All righty, it is a tie, but it just kind of it's sort of moving side to side, little indecisive, doesn't appear to be attacking initially. So you guys can go ahead and open fire. Let's go around the table. Gerg taking a shot.
Yes.
All right, give me a D20 roll.
I got a 12.
You got a 12, and you are firing a laser rifle.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. So, laser rifle is class 13. You rolled a 12. That will hit full damage. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Awesome. $20.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. You burn a hole in his carapace, and it kind of, lets out a surprised clicking sound and is now aware. Next person attacking.
Ron is
Rex.
shooting.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go Rex. Go Rex.
All right. 1.
Fire
Rex,
wildly
you're
into
still a
the
little
sky.
woozy from cryo sleep, so you're like, I know I should be doing something about this, but my God, what is that? Next person along.
Brun is firing. He rolled a
All
13.
A 13 with a laser rifle. All right.
Yep.
A 13 is sufficient. You will hit it.
$21.
Good Lord. You guys are doing this thing up. Yang, can you give us a mic check and make sure we can hear you there? I just saw your.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Yes,
Yep.
we can hear you. Great. Okay. All right. So, valued viewers, they have blasted the poor innocent bug twice now and inflicted 41 points of damage. Does anyone else want to abuse this poor, helpless creature?
I rolled a
Absolutely.
6.
You rolled a 6.
Yep.
What are you
Weapon
shooting?
Class 10 with the slug thrower.
The slug thrower. Yeah. Ping. Just bounces off its carapace.
Okay.
All right, let's see. It has what we call in this business a target-rich environment. Oh, that's cool. All right. It sprays out a jet of acid.
Duck.
Let's see.
Where?
Yeah.
I jump back in the stairs.
What is let's see. I think the armor class of power armor is like AC 1 or 2. Let me see.
Not sure.
It's good. I mean, it's really good. Scout armor is armor class 2. So Yeah, this thing sprays a jet of acid that misses you. You know, you jerk to the side, but it sprays up against the side of the barn, or the side of the building, and it like the wood begins to dissolve and crumble and hiss and smoke, and you can see into this building now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tasty.
Don't let that get on you.
Yeah,
Bad
it'll only happen the once. So that concludes the round. Guys, what are you doing?
Not
Shoot
wasting
me.
another bullet.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
ready.
totally.
Well, I mean, you could damage it with a slug thrower. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll initiative because I know what it's going to do. But you guys will probably do it first. Yang, why don't you go ahead and roll?
4.
Party will go first. Does Rex Dashington wish to take a shot?
Oh, heck yeah.
All right.
He's got to redeem himself after that. 16.
16 will hit. Roll your damage.
Nice.
Fuck.
That's a lot of die.
That's a lot of damage. Got gift.
20.
Wow, man, you guys. Okay, all right. You
I gotta get
burn
me one
away
of
some
those.
of its carapace. You know, you just draw a jagged line across it, and there's a sort of a metallic blue ichor leaking out of the wound, and it's smoking and bubbling. It definitely did not like that. Next shot.
Ooh.
Brun's gonna fire 17.
That will hit.
$21 again.
Okay, yeah, you blast and it hits something that boils and cooks off explosively, and you blow a big chunk out of it. Next attack.
You're got a big 5.
Yeah, you catch it on the carapace and it manages to actually reflect that off. Is that everybody?
No, I gotta go with my shield in front of me. I'm gonna shoot around it. The
All right.
slug thrower. I got a 12 this time.
A 12. Let's see. That might do it. So let's see. Pistol slug is a class 10.
10.
Let's see. No, it ricochets off.
Oh. It's another bullet gone.
All right. It sprays another jet of the caustic acid at Mo, which again misses, lands on the ground, hissing and boiling. It's scuttling closer now. So, party, what are we doing?
I'm
Guys
gonna
are getting
back
so
up from the
fortunate.
bottom of the stairs into the room,
Okay.
and I guess fire from that position.
Yeah, it's sort of leaving a nasty trail of goo oozing out of the wounds you guys have caused it.
Must create more wounds.
Let's roll initiative.
I'll roll this time.
All right.
1.
Oh, no.
It will go first. Rex, it's looking at you with its beady compound eyes.
It's because you're shiny, dude.
Gonna find
But apparently it's moving like I don't believe this. I wish our valued viewers, I wish you could see how badly I have rolled every attack for this thing. As it
Keep it
lets
up,
out it lets out another arc of acid, which misses you and completely melts a plow that was leaning against the side of the building. Just bleh.
Love it.
Blast it.
How'd that
All
go,
right.
dude?
Open fire. Maybe you guys will all miss, and I can at least get one. I mean, one of you may.
I
take a little
got
bit
a
of it.
5 this time.
That will
That's
miss.
another miss.
Yes.
Bill, I just got a 17 again.
Oh, okay. good for you.
I'm doing good this time.
All right.
I'm getting another dice.
22 this time.
Okay.
Please die.
Well, it seems hell bent on following your orders because you obliterate its head and whatever little bit of consciousness it might have had
Man,
in interruption.
that guy-
Nice shot, Brian.
Colloidal
That guy
steam.
had a lot of hit points.
It just kind of keeps galloping forward on its bug legs for a distressing
Was that like
beat or two further after you blow its head off, but then just kind of skids to a stop.
It's like a tank. None of my shots would penetrate.
Yeah. If only you knew what a tank was. But anyway, so yes, you have slain this creature, the herp, and what can I say, folks? The herp was derp.
We have derped the herp.
You derped the herp. So yeah, you destroyed it, and your new pure strain human buddy, who was clutching a pitchfork he found, waiting for the worst, says, "Yes, everyone must truly be gone from the village if a terrible herp was able to breach the outer fields perimeters. We usually have patrols to watch out for such things, and they would call in some of the townsfolk had brutors that they would use to herd such creatures out."
New human, I feel like everybody is dead here. Is there anywhere where anyone could be hiding still?
Perhaps in their homes.
Do we see some homes nearby?
There are a few homes, but you've checked them all out here in the center of town. He says that there were some outlying farmsteads, such as yours. But he hadn't thought to go to any of those. He just went straight to the town and then was afraid when he saw the pure strain humans.
Right. Well, I feel like there could be more of these pure strain humans somewhere, but I'm not sure where.
Like, did they round everybody up and take them, or other than the mutants?
There were a bunch of people that were slain not too far away.
Yes, it's certainly possible.
Are there any kind of tracks or anything that would let us know which way they might have gone?
Or
that is a good question.
Does he know which direction they left in, maybe?
Going north on a road that seems to go through the fields. Basically, you guys came in from the south. There's the center of town, with a well and that sort of thing. And you sort of explored to the west mostly. That's where the general store was and so on. The school was to the northwest where you just fought the herp. But going back to the center of town near where poor Oscar lay and the your ancient chariot, Gerg, you can now see broad ruts in the ground that are similar to the marks that your vehicle of the ancients leaves in the soil as it moves along, but also large hoof prints in between them.
I'll direct everyone's attention to that best I can.
Yes, the your new ally, whom we will call Tim, just until or unless Manny joins us tonight and corrects our naming. I don't think he'd even gotten to the point where he'd given him a name. Tim says, "Well, I don't know about any other wagons, but these are Brutor's prints. They took all the Brutors in the town with them too. They must have. And they went that way through the field. That eventually comes to the great northern fence where there's a food trading place where we sell food and such goods to those who need it. And beyond the perimeter are more barrens and wastelands.
What kind of crops are in the fields?
Oh, corn and wheat.
Okay.
Well, should we follow the tracks and check out the trading outpost and see what the disposition of that place is?
Seems logical to me.
Yep.
I think that's best.
Okay. Well, leaving Oscar's body behind, you pile back in your vehicle. Gerg,
Isn't he just bits?
no, I mean, he was perforated with shrapnel and so on, but he wasn't like blasted into, hamburger helper or anything like that.
All right.
You guys want to bury him first?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
a good idea.
He's a friend of ours, after all.
You could use a couple of torque grenades to excavate out a hole in the ground.
I don't want to waste torque grenades on digging a hole. Let's get Tim to dig it. He's new.
Hey, new guy. He's a farmer. He's used to that sort of thing.
FNG, dig hole.
Yeah, well, digging a grave for Oscar is a rather involved affair. Well, I mean,
We should all pitch in.
thank you.
Guys, in ancient times, they would just cover the body with a stone mound. Maybe that would be easier.
There any stones around? We can build a cairn.
Yeah, there's actually next to the general store there's a pile of stones that you think may have been pulled up out of the fields, when they were made and used as building supply material to be sold or traded. So you think you can probably at least put a decent covering on them with that.
Just so the animals can't eat them.
Yeah,
That works.
Did we make sure we collected all the gear that he had with him, or?
Yes, I believe last week the party discussed taking all of his stuff off of him.
Just making sure.
Can't use it
Looted
anymore.
the body.
What do we do? Loot them.
Yes.
And left him in the sun.
Exactly. Hey, we get around to burying him this time.
Whether you kill a thing or get a thing killed, looting the body is
Fair game.
Always happening. It's always given.
all right.
All right. With that done, we'll hop in the vehicle and proceed to the food trading outpost and see if it's still intact.
So now Tim has never been in a vehicle of the ancients, and he is for the first 10 minutes very apprehensive.
It's cool, Tim. Check it out. Hit the gas.
Ah!
I turned the radio on, freak him out.
But once once he hears the strains of the All-Man Brothers, he relaxes a little bit. And it's the only song you've been able to make come out of the entertainment center in the car, so it's just Ramblin' Man over and over and over.
I love this song.
Could be worse.
It could be a lot worse, Could
Be Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a Tiny Tim MP3. Yeah.
Nothing wrong.
You think to yourself, Gerg, as you're holding onto the steering wheel and just kind of maneuvering the car, occasionally stretching your little neck up to look over the dash, make sure you're not running over things, with kind of a wave of sadness. This was Oscar's favorite song by All-Man Brothers. Granted, it was the only song by All-Man Brothers he ever heard, but So you drive for about 30 minutes. Now, putting up the cairn and so on, it's getting late in the afternoon. The sun is starting to slide down in the sky by the time you reach what would essentially be best described as a small farmer's market. The destruction of the town is nothing like the destruction of this place.
Oh wow.
There are a few. Well, I actually, there are 2 burned heaps of what you can see as you're driving up on it. They're basically bodies that were piled up and burned. All but a couple of buildings have been destroyed. And you note curiously that there's a couple of places where it looks like something heavy was sitting on the ground, and there's burn spots on the ground around those. But there is currently nothing there. And the large fence that seems to surround the entire farming enclave of Goodwater has been completely knocked over here. Corn and wheat stalks just crushed down.
Any indication on which direction they went from here?
The tracks seem to continue on this stretch of road. There's a rough ancient style road that begins just a few yards from the edge here.
Now you said there was a couple of buildings that weren't destroyed. Are they burning or intact?
No. They've like the schoolhouse or church or whatever it was, they've been blasted in a few places, but they're more or less intact.
Should we give them a cursory glance or just keep going?
I say check them.
Yeah, I think we should check them out.
Okay. You notice that, well, let me see here before I say what anyone notices. Okay, Brun, you've kind of developed a keen eye for grenades and Smith and Wesson. So you notice that gleaming dully, lying on the ground on sort of a wooden step up to one of the buildings, is a sort of a golden brass colored cylinder just lying to one side.
Ooh, just one cylinder?
Just one cylinder.
How big is it?
About as big around as your little finger.
Oh, okay. I pick it up and look and see if it has any markings on it. What does it feel like in my hand? It's
very lightweight. It's hollow. There's no gray, dull gray end on it. It's kind of got around the open end. There's a little bit of a scorch mark, and on the closed end, there's a silver circle with a dimple in the middle of it. The building that you're standing before is a bit on the small side. There's nothing here. Tim says, well, this was the one of the weighing masters' buildings where they would weigh crops to sell large quantities, but it's everything of import has been taken from it.
I call out, anybody out there?
Silence.
Well, I mean, at least we have mutants and pure strain humans, so hopefully they don't think we're one of them.
Yeah. Except maybe the guy walking around wearing one of their gas masks. But
yeah.
The cylinder, does it have a smell to it?
Yes, it has a stink, like a charred smell to it.
Spent fire stick materials.
Very well, maybe.
I toss it.
Okay. Not policing up your brass. Shame on you.
I don't have a reloader, so it's not going to help me. Wait, what's a reloader?
Alrighty, so
Nothing here, just destruction.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. You do see a couple of Arn, maybe 50 meters away, that have gotten inside the fence and they're chewing down some of the crops. Arn are like 3-meter long insect creatures. When they're domesticated, sometimes they're used for riding or for pulling small carts.
I think we should leave them be. It's getting dark. We could rest. This is kind of a crummy place to rest since there's so much destruction. On the flip side, the bad guys got away this way, and maybe we could track them. And if we stayed here, maybe the tracks might go cold. So maybe we could scout ahead and find out where they went and understand what we're looking at. What do you think, guys?
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, so we should follow the tracks, keeping a low profile as best we can, considering we're driving a chariot of the ancients.
Okay, so you're not stopping here. You're going to press on.
Yeah.
Okay. You continue on through the night into the morning. Gurg, about midnight, maybe it's the sorrow, maybe it's combination of being tired, but you just you just get more and more tired as you continue on. Do you wish to stop or just press on regardless?
Yeah, we probably need to rest a little bit or let somebody else take over. Who
sounds
drove
good.
Who drove it the last time?
I think I did.
Okay.
That was over 200 playings of Rambling Man ago that someone else drove.
Exactly. I think I did, but maybe we should all stop and pull off to the road and try and get some cover and rest for a bit.
Yeah.
So we're not fatigued.
Lord, I was all right. So pulling off and stopping for the night. Let's say make a couple of checks. The orange D6 has been good to me tonight for hitting you guys with random encounters. Are you guys setting up a watch or anything?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go first.
Oh, I usually go first.
You want to go first? I'll go second.
It doesn't matter. I'll go first. Sure. I always like
All right.
sleeping for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I guess I'll share the first watch. And I am getting out of the armor for the night.
Okay.
I'm keeping those goggles on infrared.
There you go.
Gurg's sleeping in the armrest.
That's fine.
Make sure you're sleeping in the armrest. It gives back extra hit points.
Yes, you will all. Anybody injured will regain hit point for resting in the comfortable chariot of the ancients. And you've pulled over. Now, those of you on watch, are you just sitting up in cat-like readiness? Or are you getting out of the vehicle?
Yeah, I figure I'd probably be sitting on the hood or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
get those infrared goggles going.
Okay. All right, let me see here. There's some tall wild grasses, on either side of the road. It's blowing in the breeze. So who's on watch in the pre-dawn time? Let me ask you guys that.
It's probably
Bron.
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bron.
Be last.
Okay. Well, Gerg, what is your what is your mental strength?
Oh, that's good. 17.
17. All right. Okay, good. Okay. Gerg, you are aware that all around you there is something psionically active, and it is hitting you with basically one desire over and over again, and that is spread seeds, reproduce. Roll initiative.
Oh boy, a 1.
Well, that's no good. And your mental strength was 17, right?
Yeah, it was. I hate that sound.
Yeah, when you start
let's see.
talking past tense and everything.
Let's see here. All right, so that's
Now I get 2 mental saves due to my dual brain.
okay. I will. Wow. Okay. Huh. And was there anyone else on watch with him?
Brun.
Okay. I'll get to you in just a minute, Brun.
I don't know how to interpret that.
Okay. It's like, well, if Gerg knew what flash bulbs were, in your mind's eye, you would see dozens of flashes all around you in the darkness of these little bursts of psionic energy. Before you see this fusillade stop, suddenly deep in your abdomen, you feel a horrible cramping pain. Like you have eaten like the worst wrong thing ever. You're almost doubling over in pain, but you're still vaguely conscious, and it is like now there are voices just like mentally shrieking at you, spread seeds, reproduce. Brun, what is your mental strength?
11.
11. Okay.
Row.
Okay. Come on. was 3. Okay. Okay. Brun, you're sitting there. You see Gerg suddenly startle and look awake. And as he does that, just all over your thorax, deep inside, you feel this just agonizing, sharp pains for a good few minutes. It's like you have swallowed a bag of hot coals.
Ugh.
It's not causing you any physical damage, but it is hurting. So
Gerg, what's happening? It burns.
Grr.
Snoring.
Ah! I think I might wake up other people and just kind of like grunt at them and clutch at my gut. Ah! Ah!
okay.
Gerg's gonna broadcast, or not broadcast, but try to see what kind of intent is coming from these things.
Pain intent.
Okay, what is Brun's hit point total?
62.
Okay, that's not too bad. Okay. All right, so after a few minutes pass, Brun, you feel like you're being ripped open inside.
Holy cow.
You take 38 points of damage.
Ooh,
Gerg, you take 7 points of damage.
ouch.
And it's like it's all inside. Like it is causing you real physical agony. When you take a read from around you, there is something with an aggressive desire to make more of whatever it is and use whatever is near it as host.
Okay. They are all around us. Is that what you
All around you on either side.
I'm gonna try to move away from the group.
Okay.
Near the majority of whatever these things are.
It seems to be emanating from the tall, weedy grass that is on both sides of the road.
Okay. I'm going to get at least 10 meters away from the group.
Okay.
And life leech.
Nice. Okay.
And then I'm going to throw a torque grenade in the other direction towards the other ones.
Okay.
F these guys.
Alrighty then. Well, there's no real initiative required, and they're armor class 10, so I'm going to say your torque grenade does that weird warpy kind of anti-light ripples go out, and Gerg, you feel that stuff cease to exist with like a mental shriek as it is destroyed. You life leech. How much?
6
spell me again on life leech.
6 hit points per creature within 22 meters.
6 points per creature. Wow. Okay. Yeah, everything in the patch you're focusing on dies. Just like immediately like crumples over and dies. Okay. Both of you guys are still in agony, but this stuff, whatever it was, is no longer there. And you think you may have inadvertently parked your car in the middle of a patch of Zeeth, which is a type of death plant that spreads its seed pods psionically.
Okay. Interesting.
I got a bad case of the Zeeth, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling so good.
Did I gain any health from that attack?
Yeah, it would have been your normal, whatever you soak up. Let's see. So it was, what is your max health, or does life leech add on to your extra
It
hit
adds on
points?
also. It brings my health total back to full, and then whatever goes over, it adds to. Any damage that I take later within 24 hours comes out of that.
Oh, you're gonna make me roll this up. Okay, all right.
Wondered.
Well, the good news is it's the same dice I just damaged you with. So let's see, it's 10, 20.
Well, it's a flat 6 points per creature. So how many ever creatures it was?
Oh, so yeah, all right. So that was 90 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so got 83 over.
Nice.
I'm unstoppable.
Yes. Hey, throw you think it, Brun? Throw a torque grenade at me! I dare you!
No, I don't think that.
No.
He'd whack her over with you to the other side of the road.
So yeah, those of you in the car, you hear a torque grenade go off and are all immediately racking your weapons and that sort of thing. There's a glassy patch you can see in the pre-dawn where there were a bunch of tall purplish weeds on the left, and on the right there's a bunch of dead purplish weeds now. And Brun and Gurg are obviously in pain.
Vegetation in this game is deadly.
I blame Brian Aldis.
Well, Gurg's not in any more pain. He's
Oh yeah, Gurg,
top
you
of the
feel
world
fine.
now.
You're like,
I'm dancing.
I'm
Doing
fine.
a chicken shit. All right, should we continue on?
Can we rest for like 38 days, guys?
Oh yeah, you're real hurt, eh? Hmm.
We don't have
I'm
any
below, I'm below 50%.
With, do we?
We do, but we have limited amounts.
Well, I'd say this would be
We
a
have
case
no.
you needed a little boost here. Whatever we can do.
Hey Rex, can I use your suit?
All right.
Heavy
Brian.
sigh. Heavy sigh.
All right.
The suit.
So it was next to the car.
Yep. Oh, did we kill all the Zeeth? Are they all dead?
All the Zeeth are dead. Yes.
That's what those things
Yes,
were called.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
See,
I did not know that those came from Brian Aldis.
oh well, Brian Aldis created Hot House, and all the bad plants come from Hot House. It seems
Okay.
like, or at least we're influenced by it.
Well, I can definitely see Jim borrowing from that for it. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I guess I will hop in the suit and see if I can get myself a little healing going on.
Okay.
We'll just stick him in the back seat.
Just prop me up in the back and have lunch, and I'll see you in a little bit.
The suit calmly explains that there is runaway parasitic infestation through, and it says a bunch of stuff about your insides that sounds uncomfortable, but it then reports user authorization required for treatment.
Hey Rex. Help.
All right.
Or operator authorization required for treatment.
Turn your head the other way. And then when he turns his head, I'll enter my password.
I'll carefully shoulder surf the password so that Rex doesn't notice.
Well, it's not that kind of authorization. Basically, you have to tell it yes or no.
Oh, yes.
All right. So yeah, in a couple of patches on your abdomen and so on, you feel just like this cool, like little spots, maybe the size of a domar, where it's something is pressing ever so lightly, and it's cool to the touch.
Oh, nice.
then the needles slide into those places, and it hurts
I
almost
hate
as
needles.
bad
Ah.
as when
It's like
whatever.
micro Z.
But 2 seconds later, after the anesthetic kicks in, you feel nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I can't feel anything.
Yeah. So it does whatever it does, and then there's a slight painting sound, and the pain gradually subsides. There is, I think, what is it, one more use or two more uses of suit juice?
I think two more. Two more, if I remember from last time or time before last.
All right. Other than basically the suit informs you that, the parasitic infestation has been contained and eradicated. And in so many words, in about 4 hours, you guys are going to have to pull off to the side of the road. For you, for Brun's sake, to have a constitutional.
I'm going to have to take a lunch break, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Grab a book.
For a while.
Grab a good book. See if maybe the owner's manual is a good read. All right.
FM 3246.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you deal with the Zeeth and the infestation that they gave you, and what next?
Well, I guess we finish up our resting and then get back on the road to follow these tracks.
Okay.
Find these purists or whatever they are, so we can waste them with laser beams.
While we're driving, I want to fiddle with the radio station. Maybe we can get a different song.
Free bird. Scanner.
Yeah, give me a D6 roll on that.
5.
You can make static, or you can make static, or the other song. That's it.
All right, we'll keep her on the elements.
All right.
They're probably already yelling at me. Hey, don't screw it up. What are you doing? That's my favorite song.
All righty. So you roll on through the day, and it's about mid-afternoon when in the distance, sort of off to the northwest, you're not sure, but you think you can see smoke on the horizon.
I think we're catching up, boys. Looks like smoke cloud on the horizon.
Is it on the water?
No, it is not. Okay. Nobody's let off a nuke, so there's no fire.
I cover my head waiting for the fallout.
Yeah.
I was like, are we near Montreux? What's going on?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
No, I mean, you're not near Montreux. Some stupid with a flare gun burned the place to the ground. So you roll on for a while, and you've been gone for a good couple of days.
What about us? Are we kicking up a lot of dust in our?
Yeah, the ground's kind of dry now. It's sort of bare open ground.
Well, they'll probably see us as we see in them.
Yeah, you're starting to come up towards an area of hilly terrain now. What you thought was smoke, you can now see as like the edge of a mountain range in front of you. Let me see here. Let me take a look at something.
They're heading for that mountain range. Maybe it's a base camp.
Okay. So half buried in the dirt as you're headed this way, there is, well, you think it was probably square, but it looks triangular because it's sort of warped and twisted and leaning over, is a large, like half the size of a small building's wall on two metal posts leaning over, and you think you can just make something out written on it, but you're not sure.
Taking a closer look, can I make out any of the letters or?
Okay, look in the StreamYard chat. I am going to put this up in caps, and I will put it up on the screen for our viewers to see if they can guess. Let's see.
Gotta play hangman.
All right, so that is the what it says, and then next to that, it very clearly says 35, letter M, letter I. And you notice that this
Gibberish.
This crazy gibberish, this road of the ancients that you're on is now almost as large as the large road that led you to Goodwater.
Oh, freeway. Oh, gibberish. Keep driving.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. As you go along, there are places that angle off to the left and right and go on to other roads of the ancient that seem to be almost as big and wide and proud as the road that you're currently on. They are in similar condition, broken places here and there. I mean, there are times, there are stretches when you can blast down this road at dizzying speeds, and then there are other places where there are holes and dips and craters and ruins so bad that you're not sure if you're going to be able to take the Chariot of the Ancients through. Like, you have to stop, use the power suit to clear stuff. A couple places where you think, well, maybe we should use a torque grenade to clear this sort of thing. So it's not easy going. It's not like you're just on a railroad going one direction. And again, you can take one of the side paths if you wish. It's up to you guys.
Well, we're still following the tracks, so wherever those are leading.
Yeah.
Can we still make out the tracks? We're still basically going in the same direction as that dust cloud.
Well, the dust cloud wasn't. It turned out to have been
it was the
mountains and haze in the distance. This is the road that the tracks led up onto. And as you come to the first major crossing of another giant road of the ancients across this, let's see. Everybody give me a mental strength roll. You want your mental strength or less?
Gurg got a 15.
11, and I got an 11 out of 11.
Okay.
So
And I'm sorry, Gurg got a what?
15 out of 17.
Okay.
Roll a d20 for that?
Yes, a d20.
Oh, 9 out of 16.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can clearly see that there are marks in the dust that are similar to the wheel marks that were behind that were in the dirt when you were in Goodwater.
All right, good. We're still on the right track.
Yeah.
Let's keep on trucking.
Yeah, let's keep our eyes out too.
Yeah, keeping our eyes peeled for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you drive into the into the late afternoon, early evening. Now, on the shoulder of the far left-hand side road of the ancients, you begin to see groups of rusted out, ruined, presumably vehicles of the ancients, that are all large, and they appear to be of a single type. On most of all of them, any markings is faded away, but occasionally you spot the remnants of what look like white stars on them, and areas that aren't completely rusted away that show greenish paint. What that signifies, you have no idea. You don't know if these were sky worshippers or what.
Using my goggles of magnification, can I see any movement around us?
You do not, but give me a mental a mental check.
All right, so
Mental strength.
got a
And I will
17, so that's a D20 plus 2. 12.
12. Okay. You're looking around, maybe 200 meters in front of you. For the first time, you see that the tracks that you've been following come to a stop, bunch up, and immediately leave the roadway.
Mm-hmm.
The roadway beyond it is clear and open.
But they left the road.
Time for a little reconnoitering.
Yeah. I reckon.
Pointer.
Is there any way, anywhere we could pull off and hide the vehicle?
Hide the vehicle.
Make it less obvious to anybody coming through?
No, not really. I mean,
Not
you could
really.
park it amongst some of the other wrecks, but it is obviously an intact vehicle versus those that are so ancient and have been there so long, they might as well be part of the land itself.
I mean, I guess the alternative is we just take the turn and keep following the tracks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is there any way to lock the vehicle up?
You figured out, yeah. You have to touch one of the glass panels and touch your little finger along a series of words till you get to one that says lock, and it will it will cause all of the openings in the car. You hear deep magnetic thuddings from within, and it will cause them to stay shut.
Is there a way for us to unlock it when we're outside of the vehicle? Is the question.
Yes, Gerg practically green lined figuring out the vehicle of the ancients. So yeah, you can figure that out easily.
So maybe we could leave it here and just lock it down. Maybe camouflage it with some body parts from the broken down vehicles. Just kind of throw some stuff on the top of it and the sides of it to kind of keep it less obvious. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
maybe we should just hang out at the car, and maybe one or two of us head down off road and for a little ways and see if it's close by or far away? Because if it's far away, maybe we want to drive there.
Okay,
All right, you want to go, Gerg?
sure.
Okay, cool. The rest of us will guard the vehicle. That way we have some scouts trying to find out where this off-roading action happened.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop my slug thrower and then go down the path that the vehicles were taking.
Yeah.
Trying to keep a low profile.
I gotcha. All right, so you basically descend into a fairly steep gully on the far side of the road that has switchbacks that lead to the bottom, but eventually the tracks continue to go north. Now it takes you, as the crow flies, you could get down there in about 10 minutes, but then that would lead to possible injury. So walking back and forth across the road, it'll take you a little bit longer.
Are they too far away for Gerg? Hey, Gerg, are they too far away for you to telepathically tell them to follow?
What's the range on that?
Or do we got to walk all the way back up there again?
That's 10 meters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Too far.
We better go get them.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go back.
Too bad we didn't have any of those incendiary things that.
Okay. When you guys reach the point, how far down are you going to go before you turn around and go back?
Well, once we hit the bottom and we saw the tracks going off, I guess we were going back, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll go back to wherever Gerg can reach them telepathically, I guess, and just wait there.
Okay.
No point walking all the way if we don't have to, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Do I feel a strange desire to drive down the road?
No, you do not.
Okay. Just checking.
All right. So as you guys now move down into the gully, half a moment. Want to make sure I get the right. Get the right thing here. There is something metallic walking carefully back and forth up the gully. It's coming up. You hear clank, 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 clank.
Can I take a look with my my heat vision?
Yes, you can.
I will do that.
All right. There's a 2 meter tall humanoid shape. There are there is a mostly rust covered, has some of the same greenish colored paint on it, but it still seems to be very functional. Robotoid unit walking up the gully in your general direction.
So I am going to say to the other guys, I think someone's got a power suit like mine. It looks green paint like they don't want it to be seen in the woods.
Jeeps, you say?
I think we should take cover and get ready for it.
So exit the vehicle. Or I will. I don't want the car to get blown up.
All right. The thing, as it gets closer, you realize that this is some kind of mechanical being, some type of mechanoid, because you can see between the plates covering it that there are pistons and pinions and things like that.
And Dashington has a suit like this?
No, this is unlike Dashington's suit. Dashington's suit is curvilinear and almost egg-like in its upper torso design. This thing is not. It's very angular. It's like the size of a big person. It's smaller than poor Oscar was, but it is still very large. It's sort of holding its upper arms out like that, and there are 3 finger-like prongs at the end of it. And just below on the sides, you see what look like some kind of openings. And it's sort of walking along. And it pauses in your general direction. And it's definitely not a person, because you've never seen a person do what it does next. More than once, its head turns around 360 degrees. And it speaks in a hollow, metallic sounding voice. Is there anyone there? Hello. Does anyone require medical assistance?
Oh, wow.
It has been 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, E plus 10 minutes since the previous nuclear excursion. Does anyone require medical assistance? And it keeps walking.
Are we close enough to where we can hear this voice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was loud. Poor Zeus, he's looking at me through the opening in the studio door. He heard me say that. It's like, I require medical assistance.
Poor Zeus.
He's wearing his comb.
Well, guys,
he looks like a robot himself.
Should we interrogate this robotoid? And maybe it knows things about the area.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to flank it though, in case there's any shenanigans, since I'm out of the vehicle in the shrubbery.
Hello, robot.
Okay. It slows to a stop. Looks at you. Sort of looks up and down. You're illuminated by a bluish light.
I feel scanned. What's going on?
You feel scanned. Do you have any physical damage left, or did the
No, I'm actually totally good.
Okay.
Yeah. Where were you a couple hours ago?
It raises a robotic claw and points there. 26.17 kilometers in that direction. Do you require inertial navigation instructions as to my previous location?
Where
Yes.
were you?
26.79 kilometers in that direction.
What's
Do you
there?
require my previous location?
What was at your previous location besides yourself?
To the fullest range of my sensors, there was rocks, sand, plants of unknown phyla, nominal background radiation.
Have you seen any people around other than ourselves?
That is affirmative.
Where did you see them at?
107.662 kilometers in, and it rotates and points off to the southwest. That direction was a dwelling that contained several species of creatures which are heretofore unknown to my database. 51.77 kilometers in that direction was a dwelling that contained 4 human beings and 6 previously undocumented organisms. And it basically goes on like this until you tell it to stop. Naming directions,
useless.
Distances, and presumably pure strain humans and not pure strain humans.
All right. Well, I come out of the bush since I guess it's not that big of a threat.
Hey, robot, in your recent journeys, have you come across a symbol that looks like a circle with a red square in the middle?
Computing. Affirmative.
Where did you see it at?
You can kind of hear relays clicking, and it points along the bottom of the gully. 1.37 kilometers in that direction. Currently occupying Shaw Air Force Base is an organization that uses that symbol.
There we go. That's where we're going.
Excuse me, robot. Do you have any spare medical kits that we might have?
Negative. Do you require medical assistance?
I require medical kits.
I could use some medical assistance.
Okay. It turns, walks
I'm a
over,
pure strain human, so
scans you for a moment. What damage did you take before?
I've been hurt since a couple of sessions ago.
Right.
I went from 35 to I'm at 24 now.
Okay. Please remain still while diagnostic is conducted. And it on the ends of silvery strings are these little white tabs, and it sticks one to your forehead and pushes your clothes aside and sticks one to your chest and sticks another one to your abdomen and sticks another one to your thigh, and thinks about that for a second, then takes them off and says, you have, and in whatever strange robot language it speaks, it is presumably telling you how you're injured.
Yeah, I got some radiation damage from touching that thing.
Yeah, and it basically proceeds to stick you with painful needles and spray you with sticky substances and debrides a couple of places on your skin. It's as gentle as it can be, but it does sting a lot. But it basically heals you up the remainder of your damage, and this takes a good 10 minutes.
Feels so much better, but the bedside manner leaves a little bitty desired.
Yeah.
So does that take care of the radiation too? I have 4
Yes.
points of radiation. Sweet. Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah, when it's done, like when it started the procedure, the 2 openings in its side, like long metallic snake-like appendages came out to work with you too. All of that, it looks down and just bathes in a violet light for probably a full minute.
Man, if only we could bring this back to the village.
We can ask him.
Do you know of injured people in, and it like
If-
right back in
if-
your voice like it recorded it, the village.
If you hang with us, robot, there'll be all kinds of things to heal.
It stops and looks around. From what do you wish to hang?
Hey, robot, would you come with us?
Are we going to where people are injured?
Yes.
Yes.
Then affirmative. I will hang with you.
In your voice.
Yeah, and
All
yes,
right.
it
Recorded
basically
it.
plays back.
We got a healing potion bot. Fantastic.
Yeah, likelihood of it would be us hurt.
Oh, for sure. For sure. If it hangs with us, we're going to be needing all kinds of healing if we go to the Air Force Base, which is where I want to go. What about you guys?
That's good.
All right.
Well, it's likely where he's from if he's green, right? So
Yeah, it's kind of the same green color that's on the ancient ruined vehicles, and he sort
that
of
we
has
passed.
Yeah. On one of his plates, you're kind of taken aback because you see a sort of a red square in the middle of a
There's a
white
circle, I knew it.
square. No, there's no circle,
Oh,
but it's a white square, and it looks like there's kind of a reddish square in the middle of that. But you're not sure if it's part of an old design because it's not a perfect square. It looks like it was a little taller.
almost like a previous rendition. All right, let's keep going. 3 point, how many kilometers that way?
31.7 or something.
Yeah. So, in freedom units, that's about 18 miles. So,
Okay.
And the robot can keep up to the vehicle.
Or can he fit in the vehicle?
oh, he can fit in the vehicle.
Oh, there you
He's
go.
just the side of her. The
Sit in the
vehicle leans a little in that direction, but
Sit in the middle.
Yeah, put him on the hump.
okay.
We'll stick him where Oscar was sitting on the back, friggin' the rumble seat.
Okay, so you continue on. You pass through the crumpled, rusted remains of a chain link fence. Above it, on 2 posts on your right, now you can see it's faded almost to illegibility, but yes, you see Shaw Air Force Base. And there are a number of plaques, but whatever was on them has faded completely away underneath that.
Time of day is it right now?
It is now getting into the evening.
Any intact buildings, or I'll use my magnification goggles.
Yeah, your 2x magnification. Where you're going now, you can see at some distance ahead of you, there is a hill, because you are, like I said, you're starting to get into the hills. And don't at me, valued viewers, if Shaw Air Force Base isn't located up against a mountainside. I don't care. It's science fiction. I don't have to make it 100% right. Well, it's science fantasy. Anyway.
There's new mountains from nuclear blasts.
Yeah.
It's very
Bingo.
exciting.
The earth has been changed.
Yeah.
You don't see any structures. Periodically, you do see crumpled metal pillars of some kind of like those that were on the main highway when you started this way.
Okay.
They're sort of knocked hither and yon. You have to drive around some of them. And this road goes up to and terminates against the side of a hill. There is a huge vaulted metal door that is closed. Faded red paint on, you're not sure if it's the stones of the ancients that they molded with their hands or if it is living rock, but is 0-1. Painted in the middle of the door is a black circle with a red square, and written beneath it in common is Society of the Knights of Genetic Purity, death to all mutants.
Oh boy.
These guys need killing.
Safe.
I don't know what that means, but keep your head down, Dirk.
And I think we are at a good cliffhanging moment for this week, unless you guys want to press on for a few more minutes and face the automated face further adventure. Further adventure.
I don't know, guys. I think we should take a couple of days and plan out a good strategy. I think we have a major fight ahead of us.
We can't be driving up to the front door.
I think we should
Yo,
just
guys,
charge
what's up?
in.
Want to
Oh,
hang?
you guys hear James said he think you guys should just charge in. So
No. We'll
Sorry, my James impression is not very good. So I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's adventure.
Oh yeah.
We will be back next Friday. I will be back Monday. We're going to have a double mail call on Monday. We have some lovely donations to the show that I want to share with you guys. And I'll just kind of update everyone on what's going on. I will give exact dates and times for at least my appearance that I'm doing at my appearance when you can come and gaze upon me for the event I'm doing at Gods and Monsters, which is coming up in June. And then I will be, it will be an appearance. I don't mean that in an egotistical manner, but I will be at QuestCon Orlando. They asked me to come and speak there. But for Gods and Monsters, at least, I will have the exact date and time that I will be there for that. We'll do mail call. We'll just kind of catch up on fun stuff. Tuesday night, we'll be playing some AD&D. We'll have some of the same crowd will be playing AD&D. So
more of that Greyhawk.
Yes, the nightmare wonderland that is Castle Greyhawk. Thank you, audience. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to my players for playing tonight. Before we go, I want to do this. I don't gotta do this. I want to do this. I want to thank everybody who contributes to the Patreon. So thank you to Digital Discord, Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius.
Hey, that's me.
That's you. Kevin Reynolds, Joseph Lucas, Doomsword, Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien 247, James F. Keck, William Smith, the Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, who we really wish could have been here tonight, Mark Corey, my good buddy Kevin Wood, and Todd Sharp. Thank you to all my Patreons. You guys help make the show happen. Everybody helps make the show happen. But I do give a shout out. Thank you all for watching tonight. And I will see you all next week. Peace.